and you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why.
Now we're
You're
live.
good. Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties this morning, and we were trying to shift over after we played that video back to us, and the ATEM was not working, so we apologize for the technical difficulties this morning. But that being said, the cult, the left-wing media cult, does not want you to enjoy the holidays with your family. Guys, if someone is telling you not to spend time with friends and family, they are indoctrinating you. You are a cult member being led astray. Again, this is that's what cults do. They want to separate you. They want to isolate you. They want to keep you in this little bubble that they've created for you. And right now, I think it's not a bad idea for people, especially on the left, especially Democrats, especially Kamala Harris voters, to hear differing perspectives, to realize that your family members that voted a different way aren't all Nazis. They're not all evil people. They're your family. They just have a difference of agreement with you. And again, if you believe all the lies that the media has been telling you, I mean, of course you're going to be like, oh, well, you're indoctrinated. You're crazy. It's like, well, if you've been being fed a steady diet of crap and lies, you're not going to be a well-adjusted member of society. And your family members who are getting a very different diet of media, they're going to have a very different worldview than you. And again, these algorithms and the mainstream media are trying to isolate you. You're trying to keep you in a bubble, trying to keep you scared, alone, isolated, afraid. They want you constantly sitting on the edge of your seat, watching the news, wondering what's going to happen next. When it doesn't matter. What you need to do is focus on yourself. You need to focus on looking inward. You need to focus on friends and family, things that you have control over in your life. Again, there's always a grain of truth to what they're saying. Like, they aren't no one's entitled to your time, even family, because not all family has your best interest at heart. But I guarantee you, your family members who are voting Trump probably do have your best interest at heart. They probably want the best for you. But again, it's just, don't listen to the media. Don't listen to that crazy lady Joy Reid on MSNBC. Don't listen to her. She is feeding you a steady diet of crap.
Yeah. And that's kind of the topic that we have for today is I have the show's title is the Trump election victory murders. And it's just kind of related to the whole avoiding your family on Thanksgiving, because it seems that, they're like, you should avoid your families on Thanksgiving this. But it seems like, you should avoid them because it seems like that
if your family's on the left, they're going to murder you on Thanksgiving.
It's crazy. So I have two stories here about people who killed family members for supporting Trump, basically. The first one I have here is U.S. man kills family members, takes his own life after Trump victory. And I'll read this one. He'll start this one. And this is the saddest one because this guy he had a wife and he had an ex-wife, and he killed both his kids with these women, and he killed both of his ex-spouses, or his current spouse and his ex-spouse. So it says here, a United States man, Anthony Nephew, shot himself, his wife, ex-partner, and 2 children after the November 5th election that brought President-elect Donald Trump into office. According to authorities who spoke to the New York Post on Sunday, the 46-year-old Minnesota father had expressed anger over Trump's election. The shooter, age 46, had a pattern of mental health issues. The Duluth police chief, Mike, I don't know how to say this guy's name, Sinoa, said on Friday, one day after the authorities found 5 dead people inside 2 homes in the city. Authorities found Anthony Nephew's ex-partner, Aaron Abramson, 47, and their son, Jacob Nephew, 15, dead from apparent gunshot wounds inside their home Thursday afternoon, police said. After identifying Anthony Nephew as a suspect, the police found 45-year-old Catherine Nephew and their 7-year-old son, Oliver Nephew, dead from similar gunshot wounds inside the family home nearby. Before the tragedy, Anthony Nephew had been sharing left-wing and anti-Trump posts on Facebook, on his Facebook account. My mental health and the world can no longer peacefully coexist, and a lot of this reason is religion, Anthony Nephew wrote in July.
Yikes.
I am terrified of religious zealots inflicting their misguided beliefs on me and my family. I have intrusive thoughts of being burned at the stake as a witch or crucified on a burning cross. Having people actually believe that I or my children are Satan or the Antichrist or whatever their favorite boogeyman they are afraid of this week. So this guy is clearly unhinged.
Well-adjusted member of society, folks. Again, there is no right-wing equivalency for what has happened here.
Yeah, I can't find any. The only white right-wing thing that I found similar to this was a Trump protester supposedly in New Mexico, that there was some sort of like protest for a statue that was either going up or being taken down. I forget which one it was. But a Trump supporter shot somebody at one of these rallies. Like it sounds like he was being chased. It's, by the sounds of it sounds like he was being chased or attacked because he was trying to avoid people, and he shot him. It said the only thing he said is that he was smiling, but the article was written very, very like favorably. It was not written neutrally about anything.
Yeah, like saying this is indicative of all Trump supporter kind of thing.
But that's the only thing I found, and that's not. They weren't family members. This was a protest. This was at a protest.
And again, you have to blame like the media is like, obviously at the end of the day, one person's to blame. It's the guy that did this, but the media primed this man. The media, social media, and the weaponization of the media against Donald Trump and all of his supporters primed this man. That post he made about talking about religious zealots coming after. No Christian is going to come after you and burn you on a cross. That's not what Jesus wants. That's not it. I mean, if that was the case, Christians be burning people on the crosses everywhere all the time.
Yeah. What was it? I mean, remember we had a conversation with a friend of ours who was kind of more on the atheist-leaning side, and we had a Catholic buddy of ours with us, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a shame that the Catholics persecuted what's his name? What was it, Galileo or whatever?" And like I said, we all just kind of looked at him because we had known history, and we're like, "The Catholic Church didn't persecute Galileo," and they're like, "What? He didn't? I saw a movie or something in one of my classes that they did." It's just like, no, they were trying to tell him to slow down with all of his science stuff, but they never persecuted for anything because they're like, hey, we have to let the Bible get caught up, otherwise you're going to be seen as a heretic, you know. But I mean, it was wild that he thought that. And two, a lot of people think that. I said, what was it, like the Inquisition like only killed like what was it, like 5 or 6 people?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. The Spanish Inquisition is blown totally out of proportion. Remember, during the Spanish Inquisition, kangaroo courts, like people who were tried by kangaroo courts, begged the Spanish inquisitors to come in there and try them based on evidence, and most of the time they got off because the inquisitors cared about due process. They cared about the law. Yeah. So I mean, the Catholic Church is so wrongfully demonized throughout history, and like, you know, they talk about all the torture devices. None of the torture devices ever seen in any film were ever used by the inquisitors. Like the inquisitors didn't torture people.
Yeah.
Like, they saved more people than were killed. Yeah.
But now that's kind of getting us off topic.
Yeah,
but the next part of this that I have is this next one. Now, there's still more to this story, but it's just so sad and depressing. But this guy was clearly, you know.
Again, the media is to blame for this. They primed this man. They are responsible for weaponizing their narrative. And this is what happens. Some crazy nut job who's probably schizophrenic believes it. And then they take it out on the people around them. The people that they should love and care about most. But they go, I can't allow my kids to live in a world without me, or live in a world where they could be persecuted by religious zealots. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. But anyway, this next one here, wife of prominent trans writer hacked father to death with an ice axe after Trump's election night victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's something crazy. Like, I mean, what, she was just like, could you turn down the TV or turn it off? And the dad was like, no, I'm watching the
It'll be said in here. But a space rocket program manager butchered her father with an ice axe on election night after breaking down following president election, after having a breakdown after the president-elect Donald Trump's victory. and was found smiling and clapping, covered in her loved one's blood, cops say. Corey Burke, considering the bloody rampage in which she allegedly strangled, bit, and hacked her 67-year-old father in the $180,000 Seattle home they shared. An act of liberation, charging documents allege. Burke, 33, is training program manager at Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' spacecraft company, according to her LinkedIn, and is married to a prominent transgender writer, Samantha Lee Allen, which means that it's a man
who
who
thinks he's a
says he's a
lady.
woman. Exactly. Everyone seems to be getting this stuff back, but it's so confusing. I mean, it literally just like it trying to think of transgender things does like melt the brain. It like makes you have to really go and like think, really think.
That only if you're a bigot.
Yeah, but this is her, and this is her and her transgender husband right here, or wife, whatever the heck it is.
Get off of hormonal birth control, people.
Here
You'll be attracted to manly men instead of, femboys.
Yep, and then here is her at the space program or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but Allen is the author of an acclaimed book, The Real Queer America, LGBT Stories from Red States, and editor of They, Them, Nest Transgender News publication. The killing was meant to help people change their attachments to their parents, and that happened today, Burke told police, her face covered in her father's blood. Burke had been upset about the election and knew that Trump had handedly beat Vice President Harris when she allegedly snapped, apparently when her father, Timothy Burke, refused to turn off the lights. She went upstairs, grabbed an ice pick axe, tripping her father, choking him and bit him on the floor, and struck him repeatedly with the blunt and sharp end of the tool, police say. Burke sat down next to her father and watched him die, then smashed all the windows in the house, is what we described as a act of liberation, officers reported. When the cops arrived, found Burke clapping because she was so happy.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is unbelievable. Like, she's a well-adjusted member of society. I mean, that is a left-wing person for you. I mean, like, describing killing someone as an act of liberation. It's like, I've severed my ties with my old life. Now I can live free and new. I mean, like, but I mean, it's the same thing the Mao's communist revolution in China did. I mean, kids willingly killed their parents. They buried their parents alive. They did all kinds of horrible things.
And see right here, I tried looking this up, as you can see right here, if you're watching. I said Trump supporter kills. I type liberal kills. It pulls up all these articles, or left-wing person kills. So let's try Trump supporter kills. It says Michigan man turns his in after running over 80-year-old Trump supporter. Oklahoma man arrested to harm Trump supporter. Wife of man killed at Trump rally. So they're talking about Corey, Corey, I forget his name.
Compatory?
Yeah. Says killing of Ashley Babbitt. Killing of Soleimani or whatever.
Not to mention that one guy that got shot by that left-wing activist.
Yeah,
at,
no, that's
Seattle.
one of the ones on here that
nice.
it brings up. But the only one that I can find was that one about a Trump supporter doing something bad
In New
Was that
Mexico.
one in New Mexico? That's the only thing I can find. There is no equivalent of this on the right. There has to be 3 or more to prove that there is a pattern of behavior. There is not one.
Look, what you have to understand is if you live in a left-wing bubble and you feel like you're being persecuted, attacked, if the media is constantly portraying you as a victim, you're going to act in the world as if you are a victim. You're going to assume and be paranoid that everyone is out to get you, that all these Trump supporters are just lurking around the corner, waiting to get you, waiting to jump you, waiting to pull you on take you on a fag drag, It's absolutely insane. If you think that I am lurking behind a corner, like, oh, there's a gay person, I can't wait to get him. I'm gonna train him up and tie him up to my big old pickup truck and take him for a ride. Woo! That's crazy. You are a nut job.
Yeah.
I've got better things to do with my time in life.
I do not have enough time in the day to wait around like that. I work too much to do anything like
it's
that.
ridiculous, and so does everyone else. Life is busy. I don't have time. It's the same thing about racism. Like, I don't have time to prevent black people from achieving. Like, I don't have enough time in the day, and I've never been invited to the cabal of meeting that, where the white privilege power meeting takes place. They've never invited me. When do I get to be invited to this meeting, So it's just absolutely insane, the stuff that people believe. But again, it's this cultural victim mentality that has been widespread throughout the media, going, hey, guess what? You're a victim and everyone's out to get you. No. Look, this is why you need Jesus in your life. You need to forgive and forget, move on. Yep. And for God's sakes, go out and enjoy Thanksgiving with your family, even if you disagree with them. Because, it's not a bad thing to hear differing perspectives and worldview, even if you think they're dumb. And just enjoy the time with the family and the minimum and the little time we have here with them.
And it would be wise to understand how maybe you can get into the headspace, understand how these people that you disagree with so much came to the decision to vote for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Not just like, I'm voting for, that's like, why did you vote for Donald Trump? Actually, legitimately ask them why. Why did you vote for Donald Trump? And maybe they'll give you things. It was the economy. It was, I think that she's going to start a war with Russia or China or whatever. There could be 100 million reasons that they decided to vote.
Or you could just talk about cooking recipes, or you could talk about how grandma's doing, or you could go out and play catch with your family members and just have a good time. Go home, spend the holidays with your family, enjoy as much time that you have with them, because they're not going to be around forever. You're not going to be around forever.
This is like those people that I remember that, we had lost a friend like this, was a person like this, they were one of those people during the COVID stuff that's like, you remember, if you're gonna travel, to be sure that you don't travel this Thanksgiving because you could hurt your family members. And I just posted a thing. And I agree, it was a little mean. It was like shut the F up. Just shut the F up. It was a meme of, The Incredibles, mm-hmm. Like him just like dull depressed. It was like, and he just like immediately like unfriended me right there on the spot.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about too.
You do know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'll finish this up right here. But she said that she was overwhelmed and finally pushed her attention to the breaking point. When she sat down with blood smeared all over her face, she whispered to one officer saying, "I killed him." And that was written down in the charging document. So that's literally what happened. And again, the media, as you said, primed everybody for this. I mean, that's the whole topic of today, is like
the left-wing echo chamber primed their audience for this. The media is creating killers and sociopaths and psychopaths now. They are responsible for this.
Yeah.
I mean, let's check out this clip of The View of them encouraging this kind of behavior, encouraging
to avoid Thanksgiving just because Trump won. But anyway, here we go. Right here, I'll play this real quick.
So it turns out every holiday season, political talk can be a tough topic to get into. But given the results of last week's election, Yale psychiatrist Dr. Amanda Calhoun suggested to Joy Reid that some people should sit this one out. Take a look.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm, that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So
Pause.
If you are going into a situation...
This right here is a doctor creating a disease so she can be the cure.
Yeah.
So, hey, I want more sociopaths. I want more mentally unstable people so I can make my practice make more money. I mean, she's literally part of the problem. She's causing the problem so she can be part of the solution and just permanently have a cycle of crazy people coming into her office.
Correct. She's doing the exact opposite of what Jordan Peterson said that a psychiatrist, a clinical psychiatrist, is supposed to do. Is like what Jordan Peterson says, like if your patient is terrified of elevators, mm-hmm. you go, I want you just to walk past an elevator day one. And he goes, now day two, I want you to go back and I want you to stare at that elevator for like 30 minutes to an hour. Just stare at it.
Then I want you to press a button on the elevator.
Mm-hmm. And then I want you to go in it. Don't stay in it. Just I want you to go in it and come back out. Mm-hmm. And then, all these things that they can do to try to sensitize themselves to, okay, I need to calm down. They're not as scary as they are.
He's teaching them to build up a resistance to that fear. He's teaching them to overcome slowly, one step at a time.
Whereas this lady is doing the exact opposite. She's like, completely avoid it. You don't want to go anywhere near it. Scary things bad.
Yeah, don't make yourself strong. Don't make yourself weathered and tough against the trials and tribulations of the world. No. You just stay, be like an ostrich, duck your head in the sand, ignore the problem. It won't bother you because I this
here.
doctor, and I will help you. I'll prescribe you some medication, and you'll keep coming in. Make sure you pay the check on the way out. In fact, you know what? Even if you're broke because you're not going out and dealing the world, we'll get you on some government assistance, and the government will pay me, and I'll have a permanent government salary because I've created this market for myself. She's creating her market.
100%. Do you want me to go back?
Yeah,
to playing?
go back to it. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
But
good.
I just realized that as I was watching.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood. And it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me.
Yeah, it's always look inward selfishly. No. Boo!
What do you think?
I think everybody needs to do what's right for them. I think you need to look into yourself.
Wow.
And if
Riveting
you're gonna
Easy
go into
answer.
a family gathering or with friends where it's going to stress
If
you
you
out,
watch
then
these
don't
cackling
go. I'll
hens,
tell you, Al
I feel bad for
has
you.
5 children.
Your husband.
My husband has 5 children. Most of them or their spouses
Of course she doesn't have
voted
children.
for Trump.
Oh,
the
thank
problem
God.
is those 5 children have 13 grandchildren he refuses not to see and not to be part of their lives. And so for our family, I mean, he has told them, I will not let politics split up our family. Al and I voted for Kamala. Others didn't. He is going to see his grandchildren come hell or high water. That's the choice that works for him.
I'm all for healthy boundaries, but I tend to think mashed potatoes are the great equalizer. Like, you don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside.
I'm also
like,
a coward, and I sold
find
out
that every
because
day
I'm
in
a
every job I've
token
worked
Republican
in
who will
social
say
circles
just
I've
whatever
run
to get on this
I've
show,
been around
have
people
a
who have different
permanent
politics
salary.
than me, and it's never gotten in the way of having friendships with
I
them.
wouldn't have had
It simply has. I would have had any friends.
I wouldn't have had any holidays.
At least she's
I had
attractive.
to only pick the ones where everyone agreed with me. And so now there are times,
Max
and
wouldn't be with you.
I check in with myself and say, am I up for this? Because I also know struggling with mental health. There are times I'm not, and that's okay. You step away, but it will never be the defining point because toxic personalities don't have political affiliations.
All right,
It's a
I can do-
personality trait that sucks.
just,
And we all are
again,
related.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, we didn't even get to the one that goes crazy. It's this lady right here.
Oh, God.
I forget her name.
Sunny Hostin.
Sunny Hostin's the
Yeah.
one that goes completely crazy about it. So we got to keep watching
Oh,
it.
God dang you. God dang you for this.
I know. Nobody likes watching The View, so I don't understand how it's still a show on television.
Because it's stay-at-home housewives who are the wives of really wealthy men who can afford them, and they don't have anything to do, so they become but I mean these are the women, these are all way past their prime, middle-aged women, this is what they do. It's like they have too much time on their hands, so what they do, they're out in LA and they go to the show.
Yep. All right, well, I'll continue it on because this is where it's about to get to the point where they talked about completely avoiding it.
To people like that. So whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family because
Here it
they won't
comes.
always be there.
Here it
I
comes.
disagree. I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect
Weren't your
Trump,
family
is
slave owners?
just a different type of candidate. From the things he's said and the things he's done and the things he will do, it's more of a moral issue for me. And I think it's more of a moral issue for other people. We're just, I would say it was different when, let's say, Bush got elected. You may not have agreed with his policies.
called Bush
but
Hitler,
you didn't
too.
feel like he was a deeply flawed person, deeply flawed by character, deeply flawed in morality.
Like a lot of devs
think
called him
people
deeply
did at the
flawed and
time.
demonized him.
But you got to admit they're very different figures. I mean, you along with Milley and along with John Kelly warned us about how deeply flawed he was as a candidate. And so I think when people feel that someone voted not only against their families, but against them and against people that they loved, I think it's okay to take
I
a
don't
beat.
have to like him to respect the voters.
If it meant not seeing your
I
children?
appreciate the voters, but I will say, somebody who tells me that my child is wrong because of how he or she feels, that tells me that they shouldn't be allowed to be who they are with my permission, I have to question it. I don't want to put my kid in that position.
Exactly.
I don't want to put my gay.
How you feel? What if I feel like I'm a cowboy today?
But again, who's the one that's in the most danger for their liberal relative coming to Thanksgiving? It's not the liberal. So they're going to have a mental health issue, but it's going to be the conservatives' lives that are in danger.
They're going to grab that turkey saw, and they're going to start coming after the family around the table, man. You better be careful with around your liberal family on Thanksgiving. But again, this is the media's fault. The media is responsible for the murders that have happened and taken place. They said it is primarily, the victims are primarily Trump people, and like I said, you only found that one single issue where, you can't even count the Gretchen Whitmer Kim because that wasn't real. So whenever you're ready for this next one, you can just play it.
All right.
The worst thing that happened to political commentary in history, Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, who has completely changed how politics is done. It's just make fun of that's literally turned into make fun of the conservative. That's what this has turned into. But here he is, and he's making fun of Morning Joe, which is Joe Scarborough and his wife Mika Krasinski or whatever her name is. And, he's making fun of them for going to meet Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
All right.
And remember, these are the people that were calling Trump Hitler and saying he was the worst thing ever. And now they're like, oh, he's not so bad. We're meeting with him now. Yeah, because you lost.
Losers.
But anyway, we'll go ahead and play this real quick.
Announcement to make.
Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we?
Because you said he was Hitler.
He did too.
Yes.
He did too, and he's pretending like he didn't.
Yes.
I'm a comedian.
Yeah, again, this is exactly what Jon Stewart does. He is a part of the media apparatus. He's part of the, I make jokes based on what I absorbed from the media, and guess what? He made all the same jokes and all the same statements that Mika and Joe Scarborough made. And now it's like, well, I'm just a comedian. I'm not culpable in any of this, It's ridiculous. Jon Stewart is just as part of the problem as Mika and Joe. If not worse so. I mean, again, in my opinion, Jon Stewart has been the worst thing that's ever happened for political discourse. Did he make political discourse fun to consume? Yes, because comedy, remember, if you are laughing at your opponents instead of taking their arguments critically and seriously, you won't ever take them seriously. Again, seriously, it's the same thing in high school. If a kid brought up a valid point and they go, shut up, nerd, and everybody laughs, it's like, doesn't matter what his point was, it's like, he's the loser now, and we're all laughing at him.
That could have been 100% right, and nobody cares because now you're the butt of the joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you like like when you're doing ceremonies and rituals through fraternity stuff. There was one kid that whenever we were doing we were sitting there and we were listening in to these kids because you put them through the ringer. You make them think that something bad happened and that they're all in trouble for it, but really you're just kind of seeing how they react to it. And one kid in there was and he was kind of the black sheep of the class. He was the awkward kid, the one that nobody wanted to listen to. And he was telling guys, my dad was in a fraternity. This is all it's all fake. It's not real. I'm like, shut the F up. You don't know what you're talking about. And he was right. We're like, thank God nobody, because we're all sitting there going, thank God nobody believes him because he's totally right. It's like people just don't get. And again, that's the point. The group mentality of we've made you the butt of the joke. Nobody takes what you have to say seriously, but you are correct. That is what Jon Stewart destroyed political discourse. He made people who had valid political points the butt of a joke, and then no one took what they had to say seriously. And this is why you're seeing the cultural shift right now with Donald Trump, because Republicans are made the butt of the joke. Nobody took our arguments or our critiques seriously for a long time. And guess what? Now the left believes such silly nonsense that no one takes them seriously anymore. You gaslit yourselves into believing your own bullshit. And here we are with another Donald Trump victory. So blame yourselves, media. It's your fault. And Jon Stewart, it's your fault too, you turd.
Yeah. Jon Stewart is directly responsible for a lot of how common modern media
Yeah, he's
clickbait
shaped
has
the
been.
Jon Stewart shaped the landscape for modern media. And how many of his hack people are still running shows? You have what that chick that runs that show on TBS, I can't think of her name. You have John Oliver, like all of his,
they're all the sub spin-offs of him.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they're
were all
used
his
to work
original
for him.
cast members, all of his news people. And now they're all political hacks that have their own TV shows because they toe the line. They toe the political line.
Yeah, but I guess I'll end it off with just a couple of memes, and then we'll play us on that video that we liked again from last week.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
But here's the first one right here is you sent me this one, but the women shaving their hair. Like, you're clearly sane. You're clearly not mentally well if you're going to do this just because of an election.
Again, and again, there is no right-wing equivalence to this. Like, there's no conservatives shaving their heads. There's no, like, whenever a Democrat wins, there's no, like, conservative chicks chopping their tits off. There's none of that. Like, there is no equivalence to this on the right. It's, hey, guys, we got to regroup and figure out our marketing and messaging.
Yeah.
And no one's going to like it anyway because all we're telling people is take some personal responsibility and let's cut government spending. And people are like, boo, we hate that idea.
But with this right here, I saw this on Twitter, and I just couldn't help thinking of it.
That's awesome.
So it says, protesting white supremacy by becoming skinheads.
Hey, man, that's one way to do it. We're taking it back. It's like we're taking it back. We're taking back skinheadness. It's a cultural shift. It's a change. But
it's so weird.
Ladies, don't cut your hair. Like, I mean, women who have alopecia and all that stuff, like, do you think they want to be bald or do you think they want to have long, beautiful, flowing hair? Like, don't do this to yourselves. But again, these are not well people, not well-adjusted members of society. Again, this is a result. That picture right there is a result of modern media, the liberal bubble. It's like, what would be a good idea if we all cut our hair off?
That'll show Trump.
That'll show us. That'll show those men who didn't want to have sex with us anyway.
Yeah. But I'll go ahead and find a couple more. Of course, the iconic meme president right there, the most iconic moments of the election. Him meeting with Biden, getting the UFC heavyweight championship belt, him being shot, him in the dump truck, working McDonald's, his mugshot, him with Elon Musk, and then RFK Jr.
He is, dude. Donald Trump is culture, man. I mean, like, any one of those pictures could be Time's picture of the year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, any of those pictures could. Donald Trump is the culture, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's awesome. I mean, he's cool. It's like what I said in one of the shorts I made yesterday. Donald Trump made America fun again.
Yes.
Donald Trump made America fun. He made it fun to be in America. He made everything he was involved in was fun to watch. It was enjoyable to watch. Everybody's doing his dance now. Like, I mean, it's a great time in America. And the fact that your candidate didn't win, guys, just have fun. Look, what's more fun than just saying, hey, everybody, just dance. Let's just dance. Have a good time. Enjoy the show. Like, how great is that? That is the best message you can send. It's like, hey, everyone, I'm Donald Trump, and I just want you to have fun and enjoy life, and I want to get government regulation out of the way. Enjoy this time. Like, it's awesome. So just enjoy the ride, folks. I mean, it's going to be good. America's not going to hurt. Like, leftists, like, the world's not over.
Yeah. So the next one I have, this is what we'll probably talk about tomorrow with the Russian missile strike from Ukraine with the American rockets. So that's probably what we'll be talking about for tomorrow's show. So just give everybody a little heads up for that.
Mm-hmm.
This one I just found a little funny. It's, I'm leaving Trump's America while I still can. And it's celebrities, getting away with the Diddy because they have the Diddy list. That's good. And then, let's see here. Oh, yes. Democrats. Trump can't use the military to help deport illegals. Also Democrats. Called in the National Guard to deport 50 illegals out of Martha's Vineyard to a military base within 48 hours of their arrival to Martha's Vineyard. And this is when Texas was busting all the illegals up to the states.
Up to the states that said
we think that illegals
we're sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. It's like, okay, well, then you can deal with this problem too. And now they figured out what it's like to have that kind of issue. It's like, well, we just have vagrants running around asking for money, asking for change. They go, ew, gross, get out of here.
And I'll just play this real quick. It's only 40 seconds.
So
What are the most difficult challenges right now?
the difficult challenges are we have, at some point in time, they have to move from here to somewhere else, right? We don't have the services to take care of 50 immigrants, and
They don't have the resources to take care of 50 immigrants, but Texas and all the other border states
have the resources to take care of 12 million.
Mm-hmm.
Get wrecked, lady. Like, you vote for policies that don't affect you. And then all of a sudden it affects you. It's like, we don't have the resources and infrastructure for this. Get wrecked.
Yeah.
Like, you're the type of person that's happy to virtue single. Again, toxic empathy, folks. Like, we just want to look like we're nice people. We just want to say the right things. It's like, that's why that whole, whenever they go up to Kamala Harris houses and they have the illegal immigrants with them, they go, we're looking for homes for these people. You guys voted, so you might as well get what you vote for, right? And they're like, no. We use other people's tax dollars for this, not my personal time. Like, dude, get wrecked. If you're not willing to put your money where your mouth is, do not vote for it.
Yep.
Do not vote for it.
Next one I have here is from Defiant L's. I should film my mental breakdown and post it online.
Yeah, guys, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, there's a reasonable way to talk about a loss. It's like, hey, we got to regroup and come up with a better marketing strategy or something like that. Like, this right here is, I'm going to tell my kids, like, what am I going to do? Like, good God, but it's like all these streamers and stuff. It's like, but we live in this time where it's more important to be famous than it is to be talented. It's like, you got Destiny having his breakdowns. You got all these left-wing streamers who are losing thousands of subscribers because the people who followed them either were bots or the people who followed them were realizing these people gaslit me. I watch them. They have no clue what they're talking about. They don't know how to reasonably and well-adjustedly look at the world. And they're giving me their opinion, and their opinion is totally wrong. So, yeah, just think about that, folks.
Yeah, and just speaking of the fact that, these people are mentally ill and likely to advocate for evil things, here's this guy. He is trans. He wants trans people to come together and murder a bunch of people. These people are mentally ill and should never be allowed in women's private spaces. And this is that Representative Nancy Mace, and she's the one that's proposing that bill to keep the transgender congressperson out of the female bathrooms in Congress. So we'll go ahead and play this.
I condone murder. I condone it. I think that we need to hold our politicians accountable by murdering them. And I think we need to hold J.K. Rowling accountable by murdering her too. And
that's probably a good place to stop before he goes off the rails, because he's advocating. Again, this right here, stop, pause it if you can. This is not kosher for YouTube. This is a call to action. What he's doing, he's saying he's okay with this stuff. So, folks, again, more well-adjusted people on the left. Like, why is it that the left has all of the mentally unwell people
and all the criminals?
Yeah, I mean, look at what your party is. Look at who your party is made up of, and maybe you should look at yourself and be like, "Are we the baddies? Are we the bad guys?"
Yeah. As I said, there is no right-wing equivalent to this. I mean, other than calling people like traitors or treason, that's literally about it. There is never a right-wing equivalent to any of this stuff that the left does.
Absolutely. But yeah, again, another product of the media bubble, the liberal media bubble. So I think that's about all we've got for you today, folks. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Remember, the media is not your friend, and they will lie and omit things about the truth. And again, it's not the most important thing that you hear from the media isn't what they show you, it's what they don't show you or what they don't tell you about. So with that being said, this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But I think that's all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Oh my God. He's shit everywhere.
There's shit everywhere! Damn it! My house is full of shit! He's shit everywhere! There's shit on the windows!
Oh my God. He's shit everywhere.
There's shit